guys, once again, Social Banter Podcast here for you guys. Thank you so much for all the support that you guys have been giving us so far. We really appreciate you. We're having a blast doing this. And you know what? We're going to keep it going for you guys. We're going to keep this ball rolling and the momentum going because you guys have been asking for it, and here it is, all right? First things first, let me get to it right away. I want to take a second and actually give a huge shout out to our sponsors and our supporters. First thing, Raul Sanchez, photography. Thank you so much, brother, for all your work. The photography has been amazing. The videos, everything. If you guys need any kind of photography done, any needs, if you got an event, it doesn't matter what it is. He'll make magic happen. Just check him out. Raul Sanchez Photography. Also, big shout out to our huge sponsor, which is Congruo. For all your marketing needs, Congruo is going to be there for you. Doesn't matter what. And we use them for our podcast, and they are badass. So make sure you check out congruo.com. That's CONGRUO.com. All right. Now, baby.
Hello.
What do we have going on in this podcast today?
Well, today we have a special guest. We have Richard Gomez here. If you don't know who Richard Gomez is, he plays with Hope Darling, along with he does his own thing as well, and he's also a music teacher.
Yes, that's correct. Good morning or good afternoon. Good afternoon. Happy holidays to you all. Happy holidays out there. How are you guys doing today?
Good, man. How you doing?
Outstanding. I'm happy.
Dude, I'm so stoked for this episode because there's so many questions that I have for you. Dude, so many questions.
I have so many questions for you too. I loved it. I loved your first episode. I learned so much about you from your first episode.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. That was thanks to Melissa.
You guys work so well together. You guys are really complement each other.
Thank you.
Beautiful thing.
Thank
you, brother. Hey, cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Salute. We're here today. So where do you want to start? How did you start getting into music?
How did I get into music? When I was a little kid, I was probably second grade.
Okay.
I started taking piano lessons because it's mandatory for all Asians to take piano lessons. Seriously,
the Asian persuasion.
Asians always have to take piano lessons. So I took piano lessons from second grade to about fifth grade. And then when I got to middle school, I wanted to take part in the band. So I played alto sax in the band, and that was horrible.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Not good. And then, sixth grade, Santa Claus brought me an electric guitar. And it was over. Game over. As soon as you get your first electric guitar and you plug it into an amp and you hit that power chord, everything else became very blurry to me.
Yeah.
It was all about the electric guitar and rock and roll.
And how did you learn to play the guitar?
I watched, the funny thing is my grandfather was an amazing musician. So he used to babysit when I was a little kid. And I would see him playing the piano every single day. I'd hear him playing the piano. I would just sit under the piano and just listen to him play constantly. He was an amazing musician. He was a band leader.
What kind of music was it that he was playing?
Classical music. A lot of
like Mozart and Beethoven,
Chopin,
and
a lot
stuff
of Chopin.
like that.
He played a lot of Chopin.
Really?
He was very talented, and he was an old jazzer from the 50s. So he sat there and he played some jazz tunes, like Ellington, just your standards. And he was a band director as well. So I heard that growing up. Now my older cousin was a pure metalhead. He was a shredder. He was amazing.
Nice.
So when I was a little kid, I was watching TV and I wanted to be a Menudo. I was watching Menudo. And you know what I'm saying?
Of course you were.
So I knew all the dance moves. I knew the dances. I knew the songs. Hey, I did it. And that's how you learn to speak Spanish, by listening to that and just getting the pronunciation right. I didn't know what I was saying, but just getting the pronunciation right, getting the dance moves, which is the most important. And then it broke my heart.
So you just wanted to be in a boy band.
I wanted to be in a boy. That's exactly right. But see, now, today, I could go out for BTS now, but back then, for Menudo, you had to be Puerto Rican. So, and I found out about that, my dreams were crushed. But then I was watching my cousins play music, and they were all big metalheads, and just watching them and absorbing them. I remember like third grade, second grade, Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, Dio, Iron Maiden, and seeing all these pictures and on their walls, and it just scared me and excited me.
Right.
So I got into metal at a young age. So when I got my first electric guitar, that's what you start playing off. When you start playing metal, you start playing Crazy Train riffs and just all the standard metal riffs that you can sit there and play. Deep Purple, everything that was metal Dokken, all that 80s dirt rock, metal rock. I listened to all that stuff. And I played the electric guitar for a while, and then I got into singing probably, I would say, at the end of high school. I didn't even consider myself a singer in high school. I wanted to be the guitar
Your
player.
voice is phenomenal,
Yeah,
brother.
I appreciate that.
Seriously,
Thank you very much.
your range is stupid.
I appreciate
it's
that.
so good.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank
I'm working
you,
on it. But I didn't sing in high school at all, except for a senior year. I wanted to be the guitarist. I just wanted to be the lead guitarist, but I didn't have it in my chops. You know, I love electric guitar and lead guitar more than anything, but it wasn't in my cards. You know, I'm a functional rhythm guitarist. I could play some blues licks here and there, but I would never consider myself a lead guitarist. No one would ever hire me for my guitar playing ability. Let's just put it that way.
So were you more self-taught then?
I took some lessons. I'll tell you what, the best class I ever took in high school was a guitar class in high school. I took a guitar class in my 9th grade year in high school. The most fun I've ever had in a high school class at Tarpon Springs High. Chuck Cheeseman. Shout out Chuck Cheeseman.
Shout out to Tarpon.
Tarpon Springs.
Oh,
Bonjour.
East Lake.
Whatever.
No, East Lake. But that was the most fun I ever had. And I learned the foundation, the structure of just playing chords and whatnot. And I would just noodle around. But the problem is at that time, same time going on with the 90s, hip-hop was coming up. And so I was a big hip-hop head at the same time. So I was listening to all the metal stuff. I was a big metalhead. I was a skateboarder 8th, 9th grade, so I got introduced to all the punk rock that was coming out at the time. Dead Kennedys.
You were just all over the place.
I listened to a lot of different music at the time. And I think that you're only as good, they say, you're only as good as the music that you've listened to.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So I was just a sponge for just absorbing music and trying to listen to every single different style of music. So I played guitar, solo acoustic guitar, just for the girls in high school, and that's what it was for at the time.
The girls in high school.
It was for the girls in high school, solo acoustic guitar. And I was just really into hip-hop at the time. Then I joined the Navy, and I basically stopped playing music.
So you didn't play while you were in the Navy at all?
No. Well, I started towards the middle of it.
Okay.
But at the beginning, I was going into medicine. I wanted to go into medicine, and then once I'm doing it, and I'm in the Navy, I'm doing medicine every single day, I realized that's not what I'm passionate about. I didn't have a love for that. I didn't wake up every day and want to do medicine. I wanted to listen to music and play music, and I was obsessed with music just like you are. You know what I'm saying? It's the exact same thing. And so when I got out of the Navy, I had to sign a contract. They paid for my school, and I had to sign a contract because what did I want to go into, medicine or music?
Right.
And that was a defining moment in my life to sit there.
You had to choose.
Yeah, and I talked to a lot of people about that. My grandfather.
How old were you?
I was 23 at the time. 23 at the time.
Wow.
I had to make a defining moment, like which path did I want to go into?
Exactly.
Knowing did I want to go into medicine for money, or did I want to follow my passion for music? And I talked to a lot of people about that, specifically about my grandfather, and he told me, like, it's the truth. If you love what you do, you'll never work another day in your life.
Exactly.
You know, and
For
I wasn't going in it for the money. You know, if I was in medicine, I'd be making 4 times the amount of money I make right now. I didn't become a teacher for the money. Mm-hmm. You know, but when I picked music in my life, everything fell into place. And so I got out of the Navy and I started going to St. Petersburg College. I got to take lessons down at St. Petersburg College with Joe Braccio and Linda Switzer.
SPC?
SPC, yeah. And St. Pete Gibbs campus with a guitar instructor. I had a guitar instructor because I never sang in high school. You know, I only took that one guitar class. I wasn't in jazz band. I wasn't in, you know, I didn't have that discipline of playing every single day. Like my doctor.
Gotcha.
Turpin has a great band.
They have a great
band.
They
travel nationally.
Yeah, they're actually very known because of their drum lines and stuff like that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's an amazing. They were on actually the
I'm
Macy's.
Surprised.
They did Macy's Thanksgiving Night Parade, if I'm not mistaken.
They did.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Well, shout out to the Tarpon band, man.
Yep.
You guys are rocking it seriously. For years now, right?
Yeah.
They're very well known. So.
After I left, of course, but still, nevertheless.
You just put your stamp on there, and then they started.
That's it. But I think Chuck Cheeseman's still there, though. My old guitar instructor. But I never did music in high school. I never took any formal training or any discipline in high school. And just when I got out, I was in college with kids that had been doing music and doing music throughout high school. So I had to start from ground zero of learning how to sing and learning how to play guitar and just learning music theory, which I really didn't know too much about, except for some piano lessons when I was a little kid.
Gotcha.
So I had to start taking music theory lessons. Then I transferred to USF. And then I started playing with the big dogs, like real musicians. Like I felt so inadequate, you know, because these kids had been playing music for 4 or 5 years, middle school chorus, and I'm sitting there and they're well versed in theory, and I was starting from ground zero, so I had to play catch up real quick. I auditioned for the school of music for my voice, which is not what I wanted to do. I just wanted to play guitar, but there was no way I was making the school of music with my guitar playing ability because they only had jazz guitar at the time.
Gotcha.
My ability level was not there. So I get in, I'm taking private vocal lessons over there. I'm in chorus, music theory, percussion classes, woodwinds, brass, everything. I got to be absorbed in music and just be exposed to so many different people and so many different really good musicians out there that affected me deeply, And that's
so what instrument were you actually focusing on?
Voice. I was a vocal major.
Okay.
Vocal major. So I had to sing Italian arias and all that in different languages, and I had to do
Oh, really?
a scene recital. Yeah. Oh yeah. But I felt the whole time inadequate compared to people that had been doing. Like guys that were in my studio are professional singers now. They sing in Germany and Italy. These guys are on a different level than I was. I felt like I was playing catch up the whole time.
Gotcha.
I was a rock singer. I sang rock tunes and rock and roll songs. These guys were real singers, and I just felt I had to catch up the whole time. I felt like I was behind the whole time, but
right.
I learned a lot, and I met a lot of great people, and I was inspired. A lot of great musicians.
And so what did that lead to then after that? Did you get an actual, so you got
You went to USF?
Degree?
Yes.
Okay, so you got a teaching degree.
Actual education degree. So I got out, and I just been playing open mic nights, just open mic nights, and you're sitting there playing out. And then when my daughter was born, I didn't play music out at all. So basically my 30s and 40s, I really didn't play music at all. I would have been playing just your basic karaoke nights and open mic nights here and there just to get out and sing in front of people, But I didn't play from 30 to 40. So around 40 years old, I realized, my daughter.
Wait, how old are you?
46.
Holy shit, bro.
So were you teaching during that time?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So you were teaching during that time.
I mean, I'm teaching. I'm coaching soccer. I'm coaching golf. I'm just involved in my daughter's lives. I didn't have time to sit there and play music. I didn't play in bands. So I started just doing open mic nights and meeting people and just talking to people. And then I got asked to play bass in a band. So I'm playing bass in a band. And then he's like, "Hey, I have a solo gig. You want to do it?" I've never sang 4 hours in my life before. So like, do I know enough songs to sing for 4 hours? So you learn every song. I write down every song I even thought I knew, and you go out and you sing those songs, and you fake your way through it. You pretend as well as you can do, and it's repetition. Repetition, you will get better at whatever you do. I don't think talent is anything. It's just how often do you do something? How often do you perfect your craft? That's the difference. People that sing, like someone like Frank Dancy. When we met Frank Dancy, he wasn't playing out at all. That guy plays out 5 nights a week now. Just by repetition,
easily,
of just doing it, and that's all it is. But it's funny. When I met Gabe from Hope Darling, I had never played bass in a band at all at that time, and he's like, "Do you play bass?" I'm like, "You lie, of course I play bass. I owned a bass, but I never actually played." And I went out to audition with him, and didn't go too well the first time. I'll tell you why. That's a different story. Why? That's a whole different story.
And we're gonna hear that one.
I just don't want to. I don't want to badmouth Kings of Leon.
That's hilarious.
Did I say that out loud?
Yeah. Now we gotta hear it. Now we gotta hear it.
No,
come on.
I just.
We like to hear the nitty gritty.
Well, the thing was, they had asked me to learn a bunch of cover tunes. I was like, fine, I'll learn them. But then they wanted me to learn some Kings of Leon songs, and I saw Kings of Leon in concert. Like someone gave me free tickets. I went to it, and that was the worst concert I've ever seen in my lifetime.
Really?
Just they were not into it. And I liked like the first album, I thought I appreciated it. I respected it. But when I saw it was the most uninspiring show I've ever seen in my life. They weren't into it.
Yeah, but at the same time, as a musician, you do understand that you do have those days.
Sure.
They're not always bad. But when they're bad, you know that it's like a domino effect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It just, your whole world comes crippling down, dude.
Absolutely. Now I feel it. Now I get it.
Exactly.
But I mean,
at that time, you
does,
probably
like
didn't.
said,
Yeah.
It was very uninspiring to you to see that.
Absolutely.
Because I remember seeing 30 Seconds to Mars once. And Jared Leto, his voice was just completely gone.
He just didn't have it.
He just
That's
did
hard
not
for a singer,
have it.
right?
And you can see it on him. He looked exhausted.
Wow.
Yeah,
that'll take a toll on you.
But he still pushed it out,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And he still tried to, do the best he could.
Sure.
But at the same time, it's like, at that time I already understood where he was coming from because I have been on tour. I have already had the experience and stuff like that. So I was able to see that firsthand. Like, in front of my face, and I'm like, oh shit, I hope he's okay. You know what I mean? But yeah, I understand definitely understand where you're coming from.
For a singer though, like you're saying with Jared, definitely for a singer, like everybody else can have a little bad day off, but if the singer's vocals aren't there, you know, nobody cares. Nobody cares. They just want to hear good vocals.
That's for damn sure.
But yeah, so I didn't learn the songs. I just didn't even practice. Like I was like, I'm not learning Kings of Leon songs. I saw those guys in concert. I'm not going to learn their song. And I came to the practice. I didn't know the songs. And it is what it is.
But you still made it.
I bet Patrick got mad at you.
He did not. I don't think they appreciated it all
Rest
too
his
much.
soul.
Greg too. I don't think they appreciated it too much. But, you know, I was just being true to myself, you know.
Yeah.
But at the time, you know, I just wanted to play live. I wanted the communication because I played it in a few bands in high school, just messing around, battle with bands and whatnot. But I missed the communication of playing because I'd been doing some solo stuff at the time, but I wanted the communication of playing in a band, that communication that you play. You can only get with a band, and that's what I was longing for. So I met Gabe. I saw them playing at Cricketers. I saw them playing a song by The Cult, She's So Sanctuary, and I heard them playing it, and that's such an obscure song to play. I was like, wow, that really caught my attention. So I talked to Gabe in the bathroom. Crazy place to talk to somebody.
Wait a second.
Did I say that out loud?
Wait a second.
And he's like, yeah, he was like, actually we're looking for a bass player. You play bass? I'm like, of course I play bass. Yeah, I owned a bass, but I didn't play bass. I didn't even have an amp. I had to buy an amp just to audition with a band. That's how, cause I'd played guitar. I knew my way around a guitar, but never played bass in a band. But fake it till you make it, right?
Yeah.
Fake it till you make it.
Absolutely.
So needless to say, I joined a band doing cover tunes with Ralph LaRosa, and I got my chops playing with just cover tunes.
So you didn't join Hope Darling back then?
No, I did not join the first time.
This was how long ago?
Oh, I can't even remember. Gosh, years go by. It must
Really, like 7-8 years ago?
At least. I would say at least 6 years ago. At least 6 years ago. So, and I played with Ralph and just playing cover tunes, the local circuit. You just do your time in the local circuit and just through repetition.
So, I know the story because I was there, but for our listeners, how did you come back into Hope Darling? So how are you now the bass player of Hope Darling?
So now I just got a call out of the blue from Gabe saying, hey, we're going to Austin. Do you want to come play with us? And I'm like, Austin's a really cool town. I'm like, absolutely. I didn't even think twice. 36. 6th Street. And my cousin lived out in Austin. I'd been there before. And I'm like, a chance to go to Austin? I'll take that anytime. So I learned some songs. He gave me the songs. We practiced one time.
Yep.
We practiced one time.
We had one practice.
Then we went out and played in Austin. That was a cool place. And then we played at the Ritz.
Yep.
In Ep4 City right after that.
Yeah.
Which it was a dream of mine. You know how many concerts I've seen at the Ritz?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That was the first time I ever played there.
No shit.
And to see that stage and always just manifest, I want to be on that stage. And
you
so
got
the
to be on that stage.
Yeah. So we just rocked it. We had a good time.
And that was his second show with us, too.
It was so much fun.
Right after coming back from the road.
It was just such a good vibe. The whole trip was it was the process. Everything we did on the trip was so much fun.
It was,
you know,
man.
Well, you guys were able to bond then, too.
Was.
Like, you guys don't ever, none of you spend that much time with
Richie and I
each other.
clicked right
like,
away.
You guys
Yeah,
were
it was
in
a
that
very good
van. You drove a van out to Texas together.
It was,
and drove a van back.
Yep.
And you guys got to spend all that time with
yeah.
each other actually getting
Shout
to
out to
know
Raul and Gabe
each
for
other.
driving.
You know.
That was crazy. It was a bonding experience, to say the least. But so much fun.
Now, I have to bring it up, bro. I want the listeners to hear the story about what happened in the hotel with Frank.
It depends. Do you want the PG version or do you want the rated R version?
No, bro, we're raw dogging over here.
No, just
Don't use those kinds of phrases. They do not sound very well sometimes.
I needed some shampoo. I said, Frank, is there any shampoo out there? He gave me the shampoo, and I just said, Frank, my eyes are up here. I just say that. My eyes are up here, Frank. So that was me and Frank bonding. That's how we bonded. That's how me and Frank bonded.
So when we have Frank on, we're going to ask him about this also. Hear his side of the story as well.
Frank Dancy will be in the podcast very soon, and we were going to be talking about the music that he has actually come out with. He's got some pretty cool tunes out there. And today we're actually going to be showing another Hope Darling song.
Right on.
And Richie, what else do you have on the works, bro?
Also, I just want to say for the record that there was no hot water in the shower at the time. For the record.
That's what you're sticking
For the
to.
record.
Yeah,
that's what you're sticking to. Okay.
Yeah, he's trying to fix it now. That was the reason, right?
Oh, that is so funny because I just saw a meme like that. and it was a cartoon, and it was two boobs talking to a dick and balls, and the boob said, you know, it's cold out here, and they were hard, and the dick was all shriveled up. He says, I know.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious.
That just reminded me of that.
So, what's going on with me? I stopped playing a lot out live after this COVID thing. I really cut down a lot of my gigs.
Haven't...
I played some here and there outdoor gigs. I just didn't want to play indoor. But I gotta be honest with you. Just, you go through this time period and you reflect and you really focus on yourself and you look inward and you see what you're about and what you're passionate about in the direction that you want to go in the future. And I don't have a desire to sit there and go out and play cover tunes as a solo artist anymore. You know, I've done it. I've done it a lot. You know, last 5 years I played out a lot. Places just... Brown-Eyed Girl, Margaret, you know what I'm saying? I play the hits for what people want to hear while they're eating dinner. I'm background music.
Exactly.
You know? And I can do it. I've done it.
Yeah, but it's still the feeling of being, you know, feeling like your background music. That's really puts a hurdle on us.
Absolutely.
As musicians. Because it's like, okay, yeah, I'm playing you elevator music, but these are the stuff that you guys normally like to dance to and stuff like that. But then when we go to the next bar and everybody's dancing, we have a whole dance floor packed, full of people for the whole entire show. Sure. It's like, well, shit. This is why I do it.
There's discrepancy between the two, definitely. But like I've played with you many times. You know, like when we play, I'm 100% into every moment.
Oh yeah, dude.
I play it like it's the last time I'm going to play.
That's why I appreciate so much, you know, the group that we're in, dude. Yeah. It's because it doesn't matter if there's one person, like I said in my podcast and in my episode. It doesn't matter if I'm playing, you know, in front of one person, you know, 50 million. It doesn't matter.
Sure.
You're still gonna play your heart out
100%. Because
you're actually doing what you love.
Yes, absolutely.
As long as it still feels that you love it and that's your passion, everything is gonna be peachy.
Absolutely.
But from the moment that it starts feeling like it's a job,
yes. Exactly.
That's when it becomes an issue.
Like you're a puppet on a string. And that's the funny thing about Gabe calling me. Because before Gabe called me, I was manifesting that. I was like, I want to play original music. I didn't want to play cover tunes anymore. I had no desire. And that's what Gabe...
And that was a good timing.
Gabe did not want to play cover tunes either.
No. Yeah, I remember we had talked... We had a really long meeting about that because we had to separate. It was time for HD to separate from covers.
Oh, and there's so many cover bands out there
around
here.
Trying to do the same thing.
Exactly. So how many can you have? And you don't see a lot of original bands out there.
Exactly. And so that's the goal for me is like with Hope Darling or even solo stuff I do, I want to be able to sit there and play original music and play 4 hours of original music, of my own original music. Maybe throw a cover tune here or there, but not be hired to sit there and play cover tunes for 4 hours. Yeah. You know, and that's it. You just want to challenge yourself, you know? Mm-hmm. And even stuff we do with Hope Darling, I'm trying to play the songs different every single time. Every time I go out and play solo or with anybody, I try to do it different every time. I have no desire in my life to sit there and go and play a song stock the same way every time. It's just not interesting to me. You know, those jazz musicians that I looked up to and I love, they can sit there and create something live on the spot. They can create organically on the spot, and that's interesting. Like, I remember one time we were playing, Danny. We were playing at Johnny's Tap House. And at the end, I think it was the last song we were playing.
HDO was playing?
Yeah.
Okay.
We were playing. And you looked at me at the end, and you said, double time. And we played double time, and we hit it, and we had not rehearsed that. We'd never even done that before. And it was on the moment. It was in the moment, and it was organic, and it was raw. The energy was amazing because it was so...
You feel it. Yeah. You feel like you gotta give it that little extra at the end, give them that big, ending, going crazy and shit.
But the fact that we had never rehearsed anything like that before, and what that makes you do as a musician is we have to listen to each other better, and that's a beautiful thing. You know,
it's the connection and the bond and it is everything.
You know, I found like the more I learn about music, the more I realize how little I know about music. First of all, but the more I play, the more I listen to other musicians around me. That's what I concentrate. Instead of listening to myself, I'm listening to what everybody else is doing and how I fit in the context of what the song is. You know, and try to serve the song, if you will.
And so going back to the pandemic thing, like you said, not playing out so much, not doing any of that.
Yes.
How did that also affect you school-wise and teaching?
As far as teaching, my courses, like one of my courses, I can't really do anymore because I had a course with 90-something kids in that course. I cannot fit.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of kids in one class, man.
And I mean, I have a big classroom, but in this
But
day and
still,
age,
that's a
I
lot.
can't fit 90 kids in a classroom right now.
Right.
I cannot do that.
No.
You know, just even the smaller course I have with 30-something kids, everyone has to be spaced. Everyone's wearing a mask. You know, they've never sang without a mask on. You know, it's a very dangerous time to do that right now.
Right.
So some kids, kindergarten, I've never seen their face. I don't know what they look like.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, you would never see them if you passed them in the store.
No. Yeah.
You know, like I remember my kids, we'd see their teachers all the time. We'd
Absolutely.
wave. They knew who you were. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, nowadays you
don't
can't
know.
recognize it, really.
And that's what's sad for these kids
Yeah.
because they can't relate to their teacher the way they normally would.
Absolutely. Absolutely not. You know, but you just try to put the energy out there, the vibrations, positive vibrations into the world. They feel that. Everybody feels that. The good energy that you bring. You know, people know.
So let me ask you this, brother. Since you're a teacher
Yes.
and you have all this passion for music,
Yes.
if there's one person out there
Yes.
that is listening to you right now and that is the things that, you know, that feels like you're an inspiration.
Yeah.
What is one message out of all this stuff that you have gone through this year and in the past and stuff like that, just in general? What is one positive message that you can tell to this person out there for them to do something positive?
Right now, what you can do and what every musician should be doing if you're passionate about music, to listen to as much music as possible. To listen to as much different styles of music as possible from as many different genres as you can. Like what we said earlier, you're only as good as that music that you listen to.
Exactly.
And that's just every genre of music. I listen to all music, man. I love hip-hop, jazz, classical music, country music. If it's good, I dig it. You know, I'll listen to anything. And that's funny, the more you listen to music, the more you end up going backwards and listening to what the artists that you're familiar with or you're passionate about, who their influences are. And you just keep going backwards and backwards and backwards, and it's a never-ending thing. You know, the funny thing about music today is that all those kids right now, all the kids in schools, they have at their fingertips all the access to as much music as they can.
Oh,
With
absolutely.
YouTube, they have the entire history of recorded music at their fingertips.
Oh, yeah. It's ridiculous
But kids
how
that
quick
aren't
you can do
listening to
stuff
it.
now.
No, they're too busy playing games most of the time.
It is. You would think a tool like that.
They're in closed
like if
doors.
We were kids and we had that access to even YouTube to sit there and learn tutorials on how to play and all the music. The entire history of recorded music is at their fingertips.
Exactly.
And they're not going backwards.
Yeah.
Like as far as even like hip hop today, rap. If your starting point of what hip hop is Lil Yachty and that's where you're starting at, or even Kanye West, if that's where you start at and you don't do the homework behind who are Kanye West's influences, who are the
Right. What got them to where
what
they were.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
What got them
or
to
any
where
genre
they...
of music. You know, you have to go backwards and you go through the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, the Who, Led Zeppelin.
Absolutely.
And who were their influences and all the blues guys. And it's just listen to as much music as you can of different styles and have your mind open and receptive to any style of music. Because there's good music out there. It's good music's out today. It's not on the radio.
No.
It's
No,
not on the
definitely
radio.
not.
But there is
No,
good
definitely
music.
But
And
there is good music.
I'm blessed that I have a daughter who is an amazing musician in her own
Yeah,
right.
she is awesome, dude.
And she's turning me on to music, and that's a beautiful thing. She turns me on to music that's relevant today that I would have never known had it not been for her.
That is another thing that I wanted to talk to you about that. Because every time you and I talk, like, this is pre-COVID, obviously.
Yeah.
You guys used to go to a bunch of concerts together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, what is
That's
that
my
like? Because
buddy.
I've never had, you know, my kids, I took Elijah to a couple of shows and stuff like that, and Chris has been to the show that we played in, the big show that the festival that we played in Tarpon, and they were behind the drum set.
Sure.
And they like that stuff,
Yeah.
but what is it like to go with your kid to, you know, to these concerts? And because they're not
And
just,
she enjoys it.
Yeah.
She
yeah,
loves
they're not
being-
regular
I've seen her
concerts either.
before. She loves.
You guys go to like punk rock shows and all that
everything.
stuff too,
We went
right?
we went out to Atlanta just to see Radiohead. Radiohead is a favorite band. So
Wow.
we went out to Atlanta to see Radiohead. We've seen a lot of good shows. She's passionate about music. You know, she does the research. She does the homework. She's listened to a lot of good music that turned me on to. But I just started at a young age, just bringing them to concerts. Both my daughters, young age. We saw Journey, and their first concert they went to was Red Hot Chili Peppers. You know, 2006.
Are you serious?
Yeah, 2006. We went
That
to
is
Atlanta to go see
awesome.
Red Hot Chili
Damn,
Peppers.
I wish my parents would have done that for me.
You know, but you know, the funny thing is my dad did that for me. My dad took me to my first concert, you're gonna laugh at this. 1986, I saw Night Ranger.
Oh, that's when I was born. That's
right?
the year
And
I was
remember
born.
looking through your record collection and seeing a Night Ranger. I saw you, dude. Your record collection was all over the place. I love that. Like you had a
That's
Stryper
hilarious.
album.
Yeah.
You had death metal in there. You had electronic music.
Oh, yeah.
Like you were all over the spectrum. And that's the thing. Like that's why I relate to you so much because you're all over the spectrum.
Exactly.
You listen to
Exactly.
Yes.
You know, you're not close-minded to any style of music.
You
and that's
can't,
why,
man, because
You
you're
can't.
not gonna make it.
You're not, exactly.
If you're close-minded to one thing,
Yeah.
you're not gonna make it.
Yeah, but even
you gotta
as-
find your own sound.
Yeah.
Not just as musicians. I listen to it. I listen
Yeah.
to all sorts of
For
things.
sure, yeah.
And I've gotten more evolved just by being with him.
Sure.
I never used to listen to some of this stuff.
Yeah.
I stuck to my country, my
But
pop
see-
rock, my old rock.
And that stuff's all good too. I mean, I love all that stuff. Like,
Being around all you guys, I've developed a more taste for music.
sure. And I love country music too. Like
That was my first concert was a country
dude
concert.
Yeah.
Brad Paisley would destroy any of us on guitar. He
Oh.
is such a
Oh, of
good
course.
guitar player.
Of
Like
course.
that guy's amazing. Like all those guys. Kenny Chesney's a sick guitar player.
Yeah.
They're just great musicians.
Brantley
you know?
Gilbert.
Or
Oh,
Gilbert.
I love
Like the
it.
funny thing, because it's 2020 right now, if it was like 1986, those guys would be Bon Jovi type characters. You know what I'm saying? And
Oh
and,
my
Oh,
God.
and just as
absolutely.
important,
Bro,
right?
You're
Yes.
talking about a New Kids on the Block fan over
And
here.
KOTB, man. That
Oh
was,
yeah, that's who I grew up with.
even that
New
stuff
Kids
like
on the
that
Block.
was out. That was
And the Red Hot Chili
All
Peppers,
that?
but my mom did not like me listening to it because
Of
all.
course.
I had the explicit version,
Explicit.
and it was a tape cassette, and I remember her taking it away from me, and it was the worst thing in my life getting that taken away.
But like even and KOTB, like New Kids on the Block, that stuff was permeating the airwaves on TV, and you couldn't help step by step.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
that was
Oh,
all
yeah.
over the place,
Listen,
right?
I even went to their concert a couple of years
Right?
ago when they came to
Yeah,
Tampa. I
with-
loved
who-
it with
who
Paula
else?
Abdul
Yeah. And Boyz II Men?
Boyz II Men,
Yeah.
and it was a blast.
And like New Kids on the Block to you is as important as Menudo was to me
Yeah.
at the time, you know?
I'm baffled. I hope my family's listening to this because you don't understand how big Menudo was in my family with my sisters, bro.
I'm
When they
envious
came
of
out
it.
with their movie,
Yeah. Oh, with the planes and then the plane.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, I watched all that stuff.
it was
I didn't know what they're
hilarious.
saying.
We
but I
knew
watched
the
it.
whole movie front to back, the whole script of the whole movie. We knew everything word for word.
With the motorcycles and
Oh, dude, everything.
I was jealous. I wanted to be Puerto Rican. When I realized you couldn't be in Menudo without being Puerto
Yeah.
Rican, that crushed me.
And that was when, obviously Ricky Martin was in it,
Yeah.
and Robbie Draco Rosa was in it.
Drago.
Dude,
Drago.
Drago is,
He's a great
I gotta
musician.
tell you,
He's
that's,
good.
I didn't say it in my podcast, but I do have to say he's literally the one Latin artist that put me
Really?
into the music the way I actually
Really?
was. Cause
Oh,
the
that's
way he writes, bro.
Yeah.
The
He's a great
stories,
voice. I
the
like
stories
Robbie.
that
Robbie
he
Rosa.
writes, bro,
That's so funny.
they're just out of this world. And
Yeah.
you know that he was like a Salvador Dali.
Yeah.
Like he was fucked up.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
He left
really
Menudo
didn't
early
matter.
because he wanted to pursue.
Exactly. He wanted to be his own thing.
You know,
he
he-
didn't like that music
No.
anymore.
He made a name for himself, and he got the recognition he needed. And he went and did the solo stuff.
Shout out to the Menudo guys, man, for sure. Seriously.
Cambiale las pilas. Cambiale las pilas.
But
I
yeah,
mean-
man.
But like with you, the Puerto Ricans, man, like you play drums so good. I just want to tell you, I appreciate playing music with you so much, man, because your sense of rhythm and timing that you can't buy unless you grew up listening to salsa merengue and Rey Bachata and
Yeah.
Harlow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let me tell you about Danny that you didn't know it. Like his dad's affiliation with Fania All Stars,
Yeah.
man. That's something you don't talk about.
Yeah.
But Fania All Stars, to me, is like if someone's dad in the United States was affiliated with James Brown or George Clinton and Parliament Funkadelic. That's how
wow.
big those bands are. That's
Wow.
how Fania. They're amazing bands, man.
Wow.
I mean,
Just the fact that you know about these,
Yeah.
the stuff that you are the only person. I moved to Florida in 2004. You're the only person that I have talked to that is non-Puerto Rican that actually knows what Fania All Star is.
dude, those guys are amazing musicians.
Like, you don't understand. Like, obviously you do understand, actually. But Fania All Star is like the festival to go to in Puerto Rico.
You tell
Like,
them,
when
man.
it
You
comes
know
to,
better than me,
when it comes to music, that's the festival to go to. And my dad used to, put it together and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, your
By-
dad will be interesting when we have him on here. The
That's
stories that
the
he
real
can
deal.
people
tell.
are going to think that Tony Montana is going to
I
be
know.
But those guys are the real deal, man. All those guys that played, like, just your dad that he associated with those.
Oh yeah, Paoli Mejia. He's playing with Carlos Santana right now. He was one of my mentors as well growing up. We used to go to parties at his house, dude, when I was a little jit.
You see what I'm saying?
And I used to hang out with his son.
You can't buy that experience. You can't be taught that. You can't teach that in school.
Exactly.
This is salsa merengue rhythms. No, it's either in your blood or not. You know what I'm saying? Subconsciously,
you gotta feel
absorb that.
Yeah.
And that comes out in your playing.
Yeah.
You know, you rock. I mean, you're a rocker, of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, that groove,
you still feel it.
You feel it. It's instant. You're playing. You're only as good as the music you listen to.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. I love it.
Hell yeah.
And so going forward now, what are you going to focus on? So you're going to focus more on the Hope Darling and doing the original stuff and not playing out.
Absolutely. And just writing more songs myself. You know, I mean, Gabe and everyone in the band just inspired me to write my own songs and just bring them to the group or just use them for my own. Frank Dancy's doing his own stuff
absolutely.
too. Jay, everybody. You know, and that's the thing about Hope Darling. They're all just dynamic musicians. Everyone is uniquely different, but all bring something to the table, and that's why the chemistry's so good in the band.
Absolutely.
Everybody's just different, but it works together. You know, you don't want the same kind of chefs in the kitchen. You know, everybody bringing Italian food or
and eventually,
different specialty.
And eventually we're going to have the whole band in here.
That's going to be
fun. And obviously I'll probably have to be lead on that because we know Danny's going to do a lot of talking too.
That'll be fun.
But I want to get all you guys in here and do a round table with you and discuss Hope Darling, how you guys are as a group together because you guys are amazing. Amazing.
Thank you, honey.
It is. Yeah, it is. It's a special thing.
Yeah.
You know, something I don't take for granted.
No.
Every time I play with those guys, man, I pretend like it's the last time I'm ever going to play music, man. I'm 100% in.
So, I want to get to a little bit of more of the nitty gritty stuff.
The dirt.
Yeah.
Motley Crue, the dirt.
Yes. So, favorite show so far with Hope Darling?
Wow, that's a good one.
Or ever. If
that I've played?
That you have played. If it hasn't, whether it has been with Hope Darling or not.
That's an interesting question. Well, I'll go Hope Darling. My favorite one so far, I'll say two. The first one we played was just exciting because it was the unknown in Austin. That was just a fun time because it was
out of state, yeah.
But I'll tell you what I really liked was we played one time at Red Star Rock Bar. Shout out to Red Star Rock Bar.
Shout out. I'm in the rose.
And you didn't play with a click track that time. And I remember that. We didn't play with a click track, and it was just a different dynamic. And the energy on that time when we played, things were sped up a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was a different energy. It was almost a manic energy.
So explain what
I'm sorry. Thank you.
Click track is so some of our listeners can figure it out.
Oh, a click track is a computerized machine that gives a solid beat, whatever the tempo may be, a fast or slow tempo.
So you guys all hear it in your ears?
No, just Danny.
No,
Danny
just me. Yeah.
And
I have that, and I have the samples running through my in-ear system.
And as you know, on a lot of major bands and big concerts, they use click tracks. Almost all the artists in a big production, they use that.
Yeah, you need to pretty much especially when you're doing long shows.
So, but why? What is it that it's doing? It
keeps you. It keeps you on time.
So they're following your lead then because you have it in your ears as the drummer.
You always follow the drummer.
Okay.
You always follow the drummer, and the drummer and the rhythm session, whatever the rhythm session may be, is just a drummer or a bass player. Section. Thank you. So it doesn't matter if it's just the bass player and the drummer, or the drummer, a bass player, and a percussionist. Whatever the rhythm session is, section is.
Love you, honey.
I love you too. So whatever that rhythm section is, that's whoever's in it follows the drummer.
Yes.
Okay.
So the click track.
Okay.
Yeah,
so that's basically what it is. Okay.
But with that, when we didn't, we were messing with the time signatures on those songs, and it gave a different variation on those, which was fun.
I was trying some different stuff as well. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's probably my tied with the first time. That time I felt magical to me. That didn't it? Am I crazy?
It was pretty bad.
Well, it has to be a little bit different. If you're not keeping that time, you guys all can play around a little bit more and have
I'm
some
still
fun
keeping it, but I'm doing it. I'm doing it my way, pretty much.
And it keeps that all interesting for everybody.
Yes, absolutely.
Hell yeah! Now, worst show ever?
Wow, that's a good question. Which one? Let me pull out my
I know there's been we all have had multiple.
Well, I'll tell you what.
shows,
This is not a show. This is not. But this is not the worst show. But this is the worst experience that I've had that molded me and shaped me into a better musician. This is interesting. So, my youngest daughter was in preschool at the time, and her preschool teachers, they were doing a graduation, and they asked, "Hey, they knew as a music teacher, could I sing God Bless the USA? You know, the proud to be an American. Could I sing that with the kids that were graduating? There was 2 graduations. Can I sing? I'm like, of course I can. No problem. Of course I got this. No problem. So my job was to do the verses, and the kids were supposed to do the chorus.
One job.
One job.
Learn
That's
the
all I had to do.
fucking song.
That's all I had to do. That's all I had to do.
Just one
2
job.
verses.
Yeah.
2 verses. They're taking the care of the chorus. So needless to say, I learned the song the night before, right? I go in, first graduation, huge auditorium. It's a big graduation. It's a huge auditorium. I go out, the song starts, I do the verse, kids do the chorus, verse, chorus. People loved it, nailed it. Perfect, no problem, right? Second show after lunch, the one where my daughter is actually graduating, right? So, step onto the stage, the lights go down, the music starts. I forgot the words. Did not remember. And my wife will always sit there and tell me that she looked in my eyes and she saw the deer in the headlight look. She looked in my eyes just blank. Panic. Just panic. Like, I don't remember one word. I didn't remember how it started. And I made up words on the spot. And they were English, but they didn't go together. The words did not, it was not good grammar. It was not good punctuation. They were English words. And people didn't
speaking
know.
Asian.
Yeah, right? And I was saying it, and people didn't know in the audience. My wife knew. She was looking like,
what are you doing?
And the teachers that were around me were like, what's this guy doing? And so they started singing the verse. I couldn't hear them. So I got through the verse, making up words, and then the kids got the chorus. I got the second verse down, and we nailed it. But that experience was so monumental to me because it gave me the confidence to know that no matter what happens on stage, I'm going to make it through.
You can get through it.
You can get through it. No matter what.
For sure.
And so that, if I have to make up words, no one really knows. I mean, the only person I really knew was myself. But no one really knows if you make a mistake. If you let everyone know in the audience that you made a mistake, they know. But if you play your life, that was intentional.
Exactly.
Oh, absolutely.
So that experience right there gave me the concept. I'll step on anywhere and just not fear making a mistake. Because mistakes happen all the time, right? We make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes all the time.
Sure.
And we just play them off like it's no big deal. You know, so it was a confidence booster. It was the most embarrassing where you actually get chills on your back and your back gets cold and the hair sticks up. That moment when I forgot the words, that changed me forever. But you want to talk about the worst gig ever? That was the worst gig for me ever. Everything after that's been a joke. Everything's easy after that, but I don't even thinking about it right now.
That's awesome, dude. Well, do you have any gigs coming up at all?
Just Hope Darling stuff. I have not been pursuing gigs, to be completely
well,
honest
that's,
with you.
yeah, back to that, yep.
All the gigs I've been doing throughout the last probably 2 years has just been recommendations, and I've been playing I would
private
play
parties and stuff like that.
No, but I would sit there and play like constantly at World of Beer. I'll constantly playing at Cricketers, and I had solid gigs all over this place, and all the places that were indoor shut down, and I'm just not pursuing gigs right now. You know, what I want to do right now in my life right now is spend this last 4 months of my daughter's school year and really spend as much time as I can with her. She's going off to college in August, and I just want to spend as much time as I can with her right now.
Shout out to her as well.
That's it, man. She's auditioning for the School of Music Jazz program at UCF.
Wow.
Yeah, she got accepted to UCF. She's going to UCF in August, so.
That's awesome.
Wow, congratulations.
She surprised me for her Christmas program. I was telling you guys earlier that I've never seen her play the stand-up bass.
Yeah.
So she came out for a song, and she was playing the stand-up bass and just completely blew me out of the water.
That is amazing.
And when you see a moment like that, I was telling you guys that you go back to when she was a little kid, and you go through her progression of life of how she got from that little kid in diapers to sitting there playing a stand-up bass. I can't play. I've never played the stand-up bass live, you know?
I get goosebumps just hearing you say that because it's just, it is. And you watch them grow up and all the different things that happen and how proud you must be of her.
And that's what you want. You just want your kids to be smarter and better than, you know, and that's not saying much for me. That's not hard. You know what I'm saying? But like she has more dexterity in her fingers, but listen, she's been playing jazz band for the last 5 years, including this year. Every single day. When you do something for an hour in a class 5 days a week, you know, you're going to get better at it. And that's the discipline of it. You know, she's hit the word. She's played the bass more than I have. So to watch her play that and watch her do things that I can't do right now is just inspiring to me. It makes you want to become a better musician.
What's her name?
Gia Gomez.
Gia Gomez. Shout out to Gia Gomez.
Watch out, man. She's a director. She knows her film. She's done her. She's my oldest daughter. That's my sports buddy. We do all sports and eating together. That's my sports and culinary guru on that side. My youngest one is movies and music.
Yep.
You know, and
we've seen her come to the shows with you.
Yeah.
Oh,
she
yeah,
sits
she's
there.
awesome.
I mean, when we went to St.
I saw her
Augustine.
play.
Yeah.
I saw her play with her band as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They played at the Tertulia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yep, I remember that too.
And she's a better, because I get stuck when I play bass, and just to get technical, I get stuck in pentatonic scales, which is like blues scales when I play. I use it as a crutch. Where she is anti-pentatonic blues scale, where she's chromatically, so diatonic, so she'll go anywhere. So her ability to improvise is just at a higher level of mine, is because she has no constraints, she has no restrictions, which is, you know, you want the next generation to be better than you, and she's already done that.
Absolutely.
That is
But she
awesome.
can't funk it like I can. She can't get down. She can't get funky yet.
No slapping the bass.
She can't get that funky yet. She got that comes with time and age, but she'll get there.
She'll get there.
She'll
She's
get
as
there.
good.
Oh, trust me, she will surpass the master
Absolutely.
very soon.
Absolutely.
Well, Richie,
Yes.
thank you so much,
Oh, thank
brother,
you
for
guys.
Thank
being
you
It's an
for
honor
here.
to be
coming
here with you
and
guys.
sitting with us.
Yeah,
I feel like
dude.
I'm at the ground level of something that's just
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
explode.
You
know what I mean?
are,
You guys
you
just,
are.
you guys work so well together. It sounds so good, so natural. You guys complement each other so
Thank
well.
you, man. We
Thank
definitely
you. We
definitely
try.
try our
Man,
best.
I wish
We
I
try.
hope you guys have me back sometime. I can sit there and talk to you guys forever.
Like
can
I
just sit
said,
there and
we're
talk
gonna
to you
trust
guys.
me. We
we're
will
also
have-
going to bring the whole
Oh,
band
that's gonna be
back, and
fun.
that'll probably have to be
That's
like
gonna be very interesting.
That'll
Yes.
have to be like a two-parter type thing, because I know
Absolutely.
we'll be sitting here for a long time talking to everybody. But yeah, we really appreciate this.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And you said the only shows that you have coming up
Hope
is
Darling
with
shows.
Hope Darling,
Yeah,
right?
And we'll
I'm
announce when those are, so all of our listeners will know where they can check out Hope Darling.
the wonderful Hope Darling.
And if
I
you
can't
guys
wait.
want to listen to Hope Darling, once again, it's all over the platforms: iTunes, Spotify, Reverb Nation, SoundCloud, everywhere. We're in
And you'll
Google
actually
as well
hear
too.
one
TouchTunes.
at the end of
TouchTunes, yeah.
our podcast today.
Yes, we're gonna be playing our newest song
The song's called Cambiale las pilas.
from Blackjack Falcon.
And don't listen to what Frank says. Don't believe anything Frank Dancy says.
Well, guys, thank you so much for listening. Once again, HopeDarlingMusic.com and at Hope Darling Music. It's all of our social medias. Make sure you give it a like, share, and follow. Write some comments. Let us know how you feel about the music. If it impacted you in any way or anything like that. Anything that we can do to help you guys out in these times and this time and age. Please let us know. Just reach out to us. If you ever need any help, we're always here for you. We're the type of community that will always be there for each other, no matter what. And we just want to bring more positivity to the world. All right, guys? We love you, and we're out.
Cheers. Salute.
God bless you.